So this demonstration will show the PLC configuration as well as connection interfaces for Siemens programming software. So the programming software that we are going to be using for Siemens PLC is TIA Portal. This is the workstation that I'll be using to program the PLC. The workstation also has the PLC configuration file. So I have the PLC configuration file saved under Documents, TIA Demo Tutorials, Demo Simulation. These are all the files for my PLC configuration. So these files get generated and saved along with your PLC config file. A disclaimer again, this is called the PLC project, but we are just calling it the PLC config file because of where we are in our demo tutorials. So in order to open up the PLC config file, I'm gonna click on this one which already has the TIA Portal icon. I'm gonna double click that and then it starts up TIA Portal for me. Now the project has been opened on TIA Portal. Over here it shows me the file name that I have currently open on TIA Portal. We are going to open our PLC config in the project view of TIA Portal. So I'm going to click here, open the project view here at the bottom. Okay, so now it shows us the project view in the PLC programming software of TIA Portal. So then here on the left we have our project information as well as our PLC configuration. So we are going to look at the hardware configuration of our PLC. So here we are going to open this folder. This is the folder that houses everything that has to do with the PLC. Again, in later videos we are going to go in detail with the programming software to explain what everything is, but for now we are just focusing on the hardware configuration. We just want to configure the PLC. Fortunately, TIA Portal has a very nice graphical user interface that shows us our hardware configuration, and we are going to open that by going to Device Configuration, and then it shows us our PLC, which is the CPU, as well as the modules that are configured for this particular PLC. Now, a key thing to always remember here is that everything that you see here that is configured in this hardware configuration must match what you have physically on your PLC. That's the whole idea. So here we have a 1500 PLC with its I/O modules. For this configuration, we have digital input module, 2 digital output modules on slot 3 and 4, and then 1 analog input module on slot 5. So this is how this PLC will be configured, and this is how it must be physically. So then these are all the modules that are found on the main rack of our PLC. If we go to topology view, you're gonna see other devices that are connected to this PLC or can be connected to this PLC. So here we have our main rack, which you just view, which has the CPU, and then we have distributed I/O modules. So these are ET200SP I/O modules. So these are modules that you can use to make some sort of field network if you need distributed I/O in a remote location. You can also open this up by double clicking on it, and then it shows us the various modules that are configured for this particular distributed I/O module. So here we have our master module, and this module is going to be used for this distributed I/O to be able to communicate with the main rack of the PLC. And then after that you have your digital input modules, digital outputs. Here we have analog outputs, and then we have our analog inputs, and then lastly we have a server module. So this is the distributed I/O rack that we have working with our PLC. Again, the key thing here is that each and every module that is configured for this distributed I/O rack must match what you physically have in your plant. If you click on network view is very nice because it gives you a nice graphical representation of how the modules are connected to each other. So you'd expect to find the similar setup in the plant. You know that from the main rack, using one of the network ports of the CPU, you then go to the distributed I/O rack. So as far as hardware configuration goes, this is how we would have it on Siemens TIA Portal. Again, in later videos, I'm going to do a video whereby we actually start this configuration from scratch.